Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Prabhupada ki Jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai, Go Brahmde. Dear devotees, Hare Krishna, please accept my obeisances. All glory to Prabhupada. I want to express my sincere gratitude to Madana-gopāla. It's a real honor to be just in your presence. When you came to New Jersey a few years ago, it really stole everybody's heart, just your depth and just by your example of how to be straightforward and go deep into Krishna consciousness. And so you've always been an example in my heart and many hearts that you have touched, and they will continue to do so. It's particularly an honor for us to see how you're leading the way in giving shelter to so many sincere devotees in North America, especially, and around the world. And I hope that we can really get that rolling in the next level. And I'm personally actually pushing for it and fighting for it in the front of the battle lines. So I hope that this happens very quickly. I have a very good feeling. Many good things are happening this year, very specifically. Someone to say all glories to my beloved Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Satsvarup Das Goswami Maharaj. You know, today speaking here in Rath feels almost dreamlike for me. I'm visiting Ireland for the first time in my life. And before even speaking on this verse, I feel I must pause and honor the sacred atmosphere of this island. There are places in the world that seem to have a visible geography and an invisible geography. There's the lake, the trees, the temple, the path, the rooms, the altar, the devotees. But there's also another map, the map of remembrance, sacrifice, writing, prayer, japa, tears, books, and service. So for me, of course, Rath is not simply a beautiful ISKCON temple on an island in Ireland. It is also a place sanctified by the presence and service of my Guru Maharaj, Satsvarup Das Goswami Maharaj, who spent significant time here writing so many beautiful offerings for Srila Prabhupada and Krishna consciousness. When a devotee writes with sincerity, he doesn't merely put words on paper. He leaves impressions in the subtle atmosphere. He leaves a current of remembrance. And so for me to come here feels like stepping into a living page of my Guru Maharaj's service. And then Krishna adds another layer of magic. We're being hosted here by Vidura Prabhu, my senior godbrother, who was one of the most impactful mentors of my life in ISKCON nearly 35 years ago in Kenya. It's 1991. Although he's from Ireland, he spent many years preaching in Kenya. That's where I was born and raised. And his association has left a deep mark on me. Maybe you don't know this, Prabhu, but your association was one of the driving reasons why I chose Guru Maharaj to follow in his footsteps. So certainly it was, so Vidura Prabhu didn't merely teach philosophy. Prabhu, you showed me what Krishna consciousness could look like in a living person. Your faith, steadiness, personal example helped me create the attraction that eventually drew me to accept, Guru Maharaj. So today in Ireland, on this beautiful island in Rath, in the shelter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, the past and present meet in a very personal way. Can you see? You can see it's good. This is exactly what this verse is about. Kapila Muni, Kapila Dev tells Kadam Muni that the Lord is not far away. The Supreme Person, self-effulgent, dwelling in the hearts of all beings, can be seen within one's own heart through purified intelligence. The destination is not merely to come to a holy island. The destination is to let the holy island enter the heart. The destination is not merely to remember the Guru outside us. The destination is to carry the Guru's instruction inside us. It's a destination. The destination is not merely to look for Krishna in the world. It's to learn to see Krishna as the indwelling Lord, the self-effulgent person, the one who frees the devotee from lamentation and fear. So let us hear the verse. You can recite it. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Mamatmanam Swayam Vishoko bhayam richasi. Mamatmanam swayam jyoti. Sarvabhuta guhashayam. Atmanyevatmana vikshya. Vishoko bhayam richasi. Kindly recite.
Mam Atmanam Swayam Jyoti.
Mamatmanam swayam jyoti.
Sarvabhuta Guhashayam.
Sarvabhuta guhashayam.
Atmanevatmana Vikshya.
Atmanyevatmana vikshya.
Vishoko Bhayam Richasi.
Vishoko bhayam richasi.
Mam Atmanam Swayam Jyoti.
Mamatmanam swayam jyoti.
Sarvabhuta Guhashayam.
Sarvabhuta guhashayam.
Atmani evatmana vikshya.
Atmanevatmana vikshya.
Vishoko vayam richasi.
Vishoko bhayam richasi. Mataji.
Mamatmanam swayam jyoti.
Mamatmanam swayam jyoti.
Sarvabhuta guhashayam.
Sarvabhuta guhashayam.
Atmanivatmana vikshya.
Atmanevatmana vikshya.
Vishoko bhayam richasi.
Vishoko bhayam richasi.
Mamatmanam swayam jyoti.
Mamatmanam swayam jyoti.
Sarvabhuta guhashyam.
Sarvabhuta guhashayam.
Atmanyevatmana vikshya.
Atmanevatmana vikshya.
Vishoko brahmayam richkasi.
Vishoko bhayam richasi. Synonyms. Mam, me. Atmanam, Supreme Soul or Paramatma. Swayam Jyoti, self-effulgent. Sarvabhuta, of all beings. Guha, in the hearts. Ashayam, dwelling. Atmani, in your own heart. Eva, indeed. Atmana, through your intellect. Vikshya, always seeing, always thinking. Vishoka, free from lamentation. Abhayam, fearlessness. Richasi, you achieve. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki. Translation. In your own heart, through your intellect, you will always see me, the Supreme Effulgent Soul, dwelling within the hearts of all living entities. Thus you will achieve the state of eternal life, free from all lamentation and fear. Purport. People are very anxious to understand the absolute truth in various ways, especially by experiencing the Brahmajyoti or Brahman effulgence, by meditation, and by mental speculation. But Kapila Dev uses the word Mam to emphasize that the personality of Godhead is the ultimate feature of the absolute truth. In Bhagavad Gita, the personality of Godhead always says, Mam, unto me. But the rascals misinterpret the clear meaning. Mam is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If one can see the Supreme Personality of Godhead as he appears in different incarnations and understand that he has not assumed a material body, but is present in his own eternal spiritual form, then one can understand the nature of the personality of Godhead. Since the less intelligent cannot understand this point, it is stressed everywhere again and again, simply by seeing the form of the Lord as he presents himself by his own internal potency as Krishna or Rama or Kapila. One can directly see the Brahmajyoti, because the Brahmajyoti is no more than the effulgence of his bodily luster. Since the sunshine is the luster of the sun's planet, by seeing the sun, one automatically sees the sunshine. Similarly, by seeing the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one simultaneously sees and experiences the Paramatma feature as well as the impersonal Brahman feature of the Supreme. The Bhagavatam has already enunciated that the Absolute Truth is present in three features. In the beginning as the impersonal Brahman, in the next stage as the Paramatma in everyone's heart, and at last as the ultimate realization of the Absolute Truth, Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One who sees the Supreme Person can automatically realize the other features, namely the Paramatma and Brahman features of the Lord. The words used here are Vishoko Bhayam Richasi. Simply by seeing the personality of Godhead, one realizes everything, and the result is that one becomes situated on the platform where there is no lamentation, no fear. This can be attained simply by devotional service unto the personality of Godhead. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnana Janashakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I offer my humble obeisances unto the lotus feet of my spiritual master, who's opened my darkened eyes and filled my heart with transcendental knowledge. I further offer my obeisances to all of you, dear Vaishnavas, and seek your kind blessings, that I may recite Srimad Bhagavatam. So, the next slide. So, in this verse, Mam, the Absolute, has a face. The first word we must hear very carefully in the purport is Mam. Kapil Dev does not say meditate on something divine, something luminous, something generally spiritual, something beyond matter. No, he says Mam, meditate on me. So Prabhupada makes a central point in the purport. The ultimate feature of the Absolute Truth is not vague light. It's not an impersonal spiritual atmosphere. It is not merely the witness in the heart. It is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhagavan. This is particularly important for progressive devotees because sometimes we may be tempted to become philosophically sophisticated in a way that subtly reduces Krishna. We may speak about consciousness, oneness, energy, divinity, inner light, universal love, mystical awareness. But if Krishna becomes hidden behind those words, then our philosophy has become less advanced, not more advanced. Sometimes in order to kind of appease the general people, we tend to go that route. But the Bhagavatam's conclusion is precise. Brahman is real. Paramatma is real. But Bhagavan is the fullest realization of the Absolute Truth. Srila Prabhupada gives a simple analogy in the purport, standard analogy. By seeing the sun, one automatically sees the sunshine. But seeing the sun shine alone, like in this room, it's coming in, one has not fully seen the sun globe, and certainly not the presiding deity of the sun. Similarly, by realizing Krishna, one simultaneously realizes Brahman and Paramatma. The effulgence is included in the person. It's not separate. You don't have to go separately. The all-pervading witness, the heart, is included in the person. The supreme source, the self-effulgent Lord, includes all features of the absolute truth. This understanding also protects our bhakti from becoming emotionally disconnected from Siddhanta. Krishna is not merely a symbol for divine consciousness. Ram is not merely an archetype of virtue. Kapila is not merely a teacher of the Sankhya wisdom. The Lord appears by his own internal potency. His form is spiritual. His name is spiritual. And his pastimes are spiritual. His words, his instructions are spiritual. And when the Lord says, Mam, the devotee does not interpret it away. The devotee says, yes, my Lord, you. Not my idea of you, not my diluted version of you, not a comfortable abstraction of you, but you, as you are. This is the beginning of freedom from fear. You see, this word will come. Fear comes when reality feels impersonal. It's true. You know, when we're in a loving environment, all of a sudden you go to an impersonal environment, we get struck with fear. I remember when I first had to go to kindergarten, to go away from the comfort of my family and my mother and my brothers, sisters and everybody, and then I was terrified. I mean, even now when I drive past that and there was cartoons on the walls, I freak out. I just remember because, going from a very personal environment to an institutional environment for the first time in your life, our fear comes when reality begins to feel impersonal, mechanical, indifferent. But when the Absolute has a face, a heart, a will, a voice, and mercy, then the universe is not ultimately cold. Our entire existence is full of joy. Vishampurna Sukhayate. Behind the laws of nature is the Lord of nature. We are not fearless because there are laws in nature. We're fearless because of the Lord of the nature. Behind the heart's longing is the Lord in the heart. Behind the effulgence is the beautiful, self-effulgent person. Right? Hiranmayena patrena satyasya abhitam mukham in the Ishopanishad. Please, my Lord, remove that effulgence that is dazzling. I can't see your face. So the first message of this verse is this: do not let spirituality become faceless, ever. The heart is not healed by an abstraction. The heart is healed by relationship with the Supreme Person. Just let me know if it shifts, right? Is it? Yeah. Okay, thanks. Another word, Swayam Jyoti, the light that needs no borrowed lamp. Jai Shri Radha Govinda Dev ki Jai. Jai Sachishita ki Jai. So this next phrase is Swayam Jyoti, self-effulgent. This is not only a beautiful poetic description. It is a theological revolution. Everything in this world is lit by something else. The moon borrows light from the sun. Our eyes depend on external light. Our intelligence depends on instruction, memory, mercy, and our senses. Even our confidence depends on so many external confirmations. look to my wife, if she's not smiling at me, I feel, oh no, did I say something wrong? But the Lord is Swayam Jyoti. He does not borrow existence from anything. He does not borrow beauty. He does not borrow authority. Swayam Jyoti. He does not borrow divinity. He is self-revealing, self-existing, and self-luminous. Swayam Jyoti. This is why Srila Prabhupada strongly emphasizes that when Krishna, Ram, Narasimha, Varaha, Kapila appear in this world, when the Lord appears, He does not assume a material body. His form is not manufactured by the modes, like ours is. His appearance is not a karmic event. His body is not a temporary costume placed over a conditioned soul. That's our situation. The Lord manifests His own eternal spiritual form by His internal potency. So for progressive devotees, this point has practical power. Much of our spiritual weakness comes from treating Krishna as if He's less real than the things around us. And this is more, let's come back to reality. No, Krishna is a reality. Our bank balance feels real. Our illness feels real. Conflict feels real. Our reputation feels real. The weather feels real. Old memories feel real. Our anxiety about the future feels real. Sometimes Krishna sometimes becomes a doctrine we believe in, but not a presence we live with. Swayam Jyoti means Krishna does not need the world to validate Him. Rather, the world needs Krishna to have meaning at all. The Lord is not one more object inside of this universe. The universe is an object inside of His energy. He is not a concept produced by some indigenous or religious culture. Religious culture exists to help us awaken our perception of Him. He is not made real by our meditation. Our meditation becomes real when it is connected to Him. That is why devotional service is the method. Mental speculation tries to climb toward the self-effulgent Lord by the borrowed lamps of the mind. But bhakti receives the light by surrender. We hear submissively. We chant attentively. We serve sincerely. We associate with devotees. We honor prasadam. We carry out the instructions of Guru and Srila Prabhupada. And gradually, the self-effulgent Lord reveals Himself. A ghee lamp cannot illuminate the sun, but an open window can receive the sun. Our practice is not an attempt to manufacture Krishna. Our practice is opening the window of the heart to the self-effulgent Lord, who's already there, and He may be seen if we open the window. Sarva Bhuta Guhashayam. The Lord is hidden in every heart. Every heart. Kapil Dev says that the Lord is Sarva Bhuta Guhashayam. Guha means a cave. I want you to see some cave. This area has a lot of caves, isn't it? Maybe we'll see a cave or two. Guha, the cave. The Lord dwelling in the cave of the heart of all beings. Guha means this hidden place, a cave. The heart is a cave. Why? Because so much of a living entity is not visible from the outside. We see a face, we see a behavior, we see a social role, we see a service, we see a mistake, we see an opinion, we see a personality. But inside that person there's a long history of hopes, wounds, impressions, vows, attachments, efforts, and prayers. And deeper than all of that, the Lord is present in the heart. For a practicing devotee, this truth should transform our relationships. It is possible to believe in Paramatma philosophically and still treat people as if they're empty objects. Completely possible. We may think, this person is useful, this person is difficult, this person is senior, this person is junior, this person agrees with me, this person obstructs me, this person is my supporter, this person is my constant critic. But the Bhagavatam says, pause. The Lord is in that heart also. The Lord is in that heart also. This is not sentimental egalitarianism. Maybe we're all the same. No. Vaishnava culture has roles, has responsibilities, has seniority, standards, accountability. That's there. But the heart of the culture is sacred vision. Even when correction is required, we correct someone in whose heart the Lord is seated. Even when boundaries are required, we set boundaries with someone who is not abandoned by Krishna. Yeah. We have to set boundaries. Even if we disagree in the presence of the Paramatma. We recognize Paramatma is there, but we have to disagree on this particular opinion. That's fine. Now, of course, I cannot speak on this point without remembering Vidura Prabhu. In Kenya, many years ago, his mentorship impacted me deeply. Why does a mentor affect us so strongly? Not merely because he gives information. Many people can give information. A real mentor sees something in our heart that we may not yet know how to see. I remember on the way to Sarich Center, we used to drive by this lotus-shaped building. You remember that? It was back there, I think it's Brahma Kumaris or something. We used to drive by that. And you remember that building in Nairobi? I don't know if you've seen it. It's really striking. I was looking at it, I was like, what a cool building. And then I also told Vidura Prabhu, yeah, but the philosophy is so bogus. And Vidura Prabhu said, yes, that's my boy. You should not get taken by these lotuses and all. You know the philosophy is bogus. I was only 14 years old, but he was so proud of me that I know the philosophy is bogus. So mentor, he takes our spiritual possibilities seriously. He treats us not merely according to our present immaturity, but according to our potential service to Krishna. That is an expression of Sarva Bhuta Guhashayam. The mentor knows Krishna is in this person's heart. Srila Prabhupada's mercy can work here. This soul can awaken. Such vision can change the direction of a life of an insignificant person. So for progressive devotees, the question is not only, do I meditate on the Lord in my own heart? The question really is also, do I remember the Lord is in the hearts of others? This verse says that seeing the Lord in the heart leads to freedom from fear and lamentation. One reason is that the devotee stops living in the world of enemies and competitors, strangers and instruments. This is why he can live like that. He can live like that. He begins to live in the world where every being is accompanied by Krishna. Atmanivatmana-vikshya, seeing through the purified intelligence. So Kapil Dev here, he gives a method in a compact phrase. Atmanyevatmana-vikshya. In your own heart, through your own intellect, always see me. This is very important. The Lord in the heart is not seen by imagination alone. I mean, we can imagine and it helps us, but nor is he seen by dry analysis alone. The word Atmana here, explained in the synonyms, is through your intellect. indicates that our intelligence must become purified and engage in remembrance. Sometimes the devotees think that the heart means emotion and intelligence means philosophy, as if they're two separate things, like emotion here, intelligence here. But in bhakti, purified intelligence protects the heart, and the softened heart gives life to spiritual intelligence. If we have emotion without intelligence, we may become sentimental or unstable or easily misled. If we have intelligence without heartfelt emotions, we may become proud, harsh, spiritually dry. Kapila's instruction brings them together, like that famous Prabhupada's quote, purport, chapter 3. Religion without philosophy, right, is sentiment. Philosophy without religion is just dry speculation. So the Lord in the heart, through the faculty of discernment, should be seen. How does intellect become purified? By hearing what we're doing right now. By repeated exposure to Srimad Bhagavatam. By chanting the holy name while trying to hear. By serving devotees. By accepting graciously any corrections. By reflecting on our life in the light of Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. By asking, what is Krishna teaching me today? What is my mind doing? What is my false ego trying to protect? How can this situation be an offering to Krishna? This is not mental speculation. Mental speculation tries to control the truth from above. Devotional intelligence receives the truth from above and applies it inwardly. Advanced devotee does not just simply quote philosophy. He lets philosophy look back at him. He allows the Bhagavatam to read him. He lets the verse become a mirror. How can I understand myself with this? And in Rath especially, this is especially meaningful for me because my Guru Maharaj is writing. His writing life, it teaches this kind of inner application. He wrote a lot of books and a lot of poetry on this inner reflection, authenticity. Writing in Krishna consciousness is not merely arranging ideas. It is often the practice of bringing the intelligence before Krishna and asking, what is true? What is false? What is sincere? What is evasive? What is my rascaldom? Where is Srila Prabhupada asking me to stand? So Atmanyevatmana Vikshya means that the Lord is to be contemplated not vaguely but with trained, surrendered, devotional intelligence. We do not stare at the mind. We worship the mind. We do not believe every emotion that passes through the heart. We bring the lamp of Shastra into the cave of the heart. And there, gradually, instead of only seeing our wounds and our ambitions and our fears and memories, we begin to see the Lord who's been waiting there all along. Vishoka, when lamentation loses its throne. Kapil Dev says that by seeing him in this way, Kardama Muni will become Vishoka. Vishoka means what? Vi means without, right? And Shoka means lamentation. So Vishoka means free from lamentation. We must understand this carefully. Freedom from lamentation does not mean emotional numbness, like we have no emotions anymore. It doesn't mean a devotee becomes stone-hearted. The great devotees feel deeply. They feel separation. They feel compassion, gratitude, repentance, longing. They feel concern. Bhakti does not make the heart less sensitive. It makes the heart properly centered. Now, lamentation becomes destructive when it takes the throne that belongs to Krishna. Throne doesn't belong to lamentation. Krishna should be sitting there. When grief becomes the ultimate reality, we feel trapped. When regret becomes the defining voice, we lose our spiritual confidence. When loss becomes our identity, I lost this, I lost that, we become unable to serve in the present. But when Krishna is seen in the heart, lamentation is not denied. It is relocated. There's lamentation, but now we're lamenting about the right things. Hari Hari Bifale Janama Gavayu, I lost, wasted my life, my time. Lamentation finds its rightful place. It becomes part of a larger relationship with the Lord. So Karta Muni is an extraordinary example. He has fulfilled his responsibilities. He has served, he has married, he has produced offspring. The Lord himself has appeared as his son. Now he's ready to leave. From a material perspective, leaving home could be filled with anxiety, guilt, fear, emotional tearing. But Kapil Dev promises him, if he keeps the Lord within the heart, he will be Vishoka. He can move forward without being ruled by lamentation. This is relevant for every stage of our devotional life. We lament missed opportunities. We lament mistakes in our relationships. We lament our lack of taste in chanting. We lament old failures. We lament lost time. We lament changes in our body. We lament the departure of devotees. We lament what our communities could have been. Some lamentation may be honest. But if it does not end in surrender to Krishna, it becomes another form of self-absorption. The Lord in the heart gives a different ending to this sorrow. He says, I was there, I am here, I can purify, I can carry what you cannot carry. I can make even your broken history useful in my service. Even our tragedies of our life can be useful in Krishna's service today because they've shaped us. That's why remembrance is so powerful. We do not become free from lamentation by winning every external situation. We become free from lamentation by no longer being alone inside any situation. Why? Because Krishna is with us. The heart that sees Krishna doesn't say, nothing painful ever happened to me. No, it says, nothing painful has the final word. Krishna was present, Krishna is present, and Krishna can still use me. And that brings us to abhayam. It's another word in the verse. Fearlessness, born from presence. So the final promise in this verse is abhayam richasi. Abhayam richasi. You will attain fearlessness. Fear is one of the deepest experiences of our conditioned life. It drives us. We fear loss. We fear failure. We fear rejection. That's painful. We fear disease. We fear aging. Death. Criticism. We fear becoming irrelevant. We fear change. We fear uncertainty. We fear being seen. We fear being forgotten. We fear attachment. We fear loneliness. The material world is designed in such a way that no arrangement can completely remove fear. Nothing. Because everything material is unstable. No matter how much money someone has, fear will always be there. But Kapila Dev gives Kardama Muni a different source of fearlessness. He doesn't say you'll be fearless because nothing difficult will happen. He says, in effect, you'll be fearless because you will see me in the heart. Fearlessness is not bravado. Bravado means foolishness. It is not pretending to be above human vulnerability. Fearlessness is a shelter. Abhaya charana aravind. Abhaya charana. The shelter of the lotus feet gives us abhaya, fearlessness. There are two ways to misunderstand fearlessness. One is to think it means recklessness. I'm a devotee, so I don't need any prudence, I don't need planning, I don't need humility, I don't need accountability. I'm fearless. No. That is not bhakti. That is another misunderstanding. Is to think that fearlessness is impossible until all risk disappears. That's the other extreme. Until every risk is gone, only then I'll be fearless. That is also not bhakti. Devotional fearlessness means that even while acting responsibly in an uncertain world, the devotee knows Krishna is with me. Krishna is in my heart. Krishna is in the hearts of others. Krishna knows the path. Krishna knows the end from the beginning. This is the courage required for real service, tangible, useful service. Preaching requires fearlessness. Doesn't mean all risks are gone, but you have an inner fearlessness. Mentoring requires fearlessness. Apologizing requires fearlessness. Leaving our comfort zone requires fearlessness. Speaking truth with compassion requires fearlessness. Accepting the next stage of life, which comes very quickly, by the way, requires fearlessness. Even chanting honestly requires fearlessness. Because the holy name reveals what we're clinging to. You know, a lot of times we're not afraid of failure. You know, it's a fear of failure. Actually, we're suffering from fear of success. We're afraid to succeed in spiritual life because that means our mind's attachments will be gone. Fear of success is a real thing. Kardama Muni is about to enter the wandering life. But the external wandering is not the main point. The main point is an inner anchoring. A person may live in one house, like a nice big house, and be internally homeless. Another may wander from place to place and be completely sheltered because Krishna is held in the heart. You can live in a fortress and still have fear, or be in the street and wanders with no fixed residence and still be completely fearless. So abhayam means the heart has found its center. The devotee may still make plans, take precautions, grieve losses, face uncertainty. But fear no longer defines the devotee. Fear is no longer the master. Krishna is the master. And when Krishna is the master, even vulnerability becomes a doorway to dependence. The last closing here. Let's bring this verse together. Kapila Dev says, Mam Atmanam Swayam Jyoti Sarvabhuta Guhashayam. See me, the Supreme Soul, self-effulgent, dwelling in the hearts of all beings. Atmanyevatmana Vikshya. See me in your own heart through purified intelligence. Vishoko bhayam richati. Then you will attain eternal life, free from lamentation and fear. This is a complete spiritual map. The absolute truth is personal. Mam, the Lord is self-effulgent. Swayam Jyoti. He is intimate in the cave of the heart. He is universal, the heart of all beings. He is accessible through purified intelligence, and his vision transforms existence no lamentation, no fear. So as I stand here, I'm standing outside this beautiful island of Rath in Ireland. I feel that the verse is teaching me how to understand sacred places, sacred mentors, sacred memories. A holy place is not meant to become only a photograph in the mind. It is meant to awaken an inner geography, a geography of remembrance. A mentor is not meant to remain only a figure from our past. His instructions should become an inner voice calling us back to Krishna. A guru's writing is not meant to remain only on a shelf. It should become light inside the intelligence. My Guru Maharaj spent time here writing. Abhidhar Prabhu spent years in Kenya preaching and impacting lives like mine. And now he's serving so much over here, trying to pull it together and make some vision unfold. Srila Prabhupada crossed oceans, planted Krishna. He gave Krishna consciousness in places that many people had never imagined would become homes for bhakti. Who would have thought 50 years ago or 80 years ago a place like this would become a home of bhakti? What is that connects all these sacred movements? Krishna in the heart. The Lord moved Srila Prabhupada. The Lord moved our gurus and our mentors. The Lord moved us from one continent to another, from one stage of faith to another, from uncertainty to shelter, from scattered life to service. So the prayer at the end of this class is simple. May we never reduce Krishna to light without personality. May we not reduce people to bodies without the Lord in their hearts. May we not reduce intelligence to argument without surrender. May we not reduce holy places to just scenery without remembrance. And may we not reduce our past to a well of nostalgia or regret. May Kapila Dev's instructions enter us. May we see the Supreme Person behind that Pramajyoti. May we recognize the Lord as Paramatma in everyone's heart. May we use our intelligence to remember rather than to rationalize. May our lamentation become purified into an offering. And may our fear turn into dependence. And when we leave this class, when we walk out of this temple, when we cross the water, when we return to our homes, our services, our families, our preaching fields, our inner battles, may we carry Inish Rath within us. Not only the island outside, but the island inside. A quiet place in the heart, where the self-effulgent Lord is seated, where the Guru's words still echo, where Srila Prabhupada's mercy still calls, and where the soul can walk forward. Vishoka and Abhaya, free from lamentation and fearlessness in Krishna's service. Thank you very much for your kind attention and your valuable time. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. End on time? Oh, spot on. 8:30. Didn't leave any time for questions, but I don't know if you have time for any discussions. Yes, Prabhu.
We all have, to some extent, we all have perceptions of others, perceptions of ourselves. And for the most part, in my case, these perceptions, they tend to limit our relationships to the extent where we could blossom in a spiritual way and embrace each other and embrace each other's idiosyncrasies, if we can call them that, rather than an artist. It seems like, for myself, the more I try to progress in my awareness of my relationship with Krishna, the perceptions seem to always overcome
Mm.
what I would really like to do. How do we actually, in a realistic way, how do we overcome those negative perceptions and actually just embrace the philosophy and really go forward?
Yeah. Thank you very much for the question. This is a very real and heartfelt question. How can we kind of even embrace the differences, maybe sometimes the disagreements, and move forward and not allow the perception that we have of somebody else to slow down our spiritual growth in one sense, and to also to function and maybe move forward as in relationship and as a community, perhaps. Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Srila Prabhupada did say that he wanted to see our communities based on love and trust. Sometimes, of course, we may feel, okay, we need to put systems in place for communities to function better. Like, you have a roster and a grid, and who is going to do what when. There's a very nicely, a lot of details, and who's going to be the backup, and all kinds of sophisticated systems in place. And that's important, required for functioning. We can overdo that and create a community where the trust erodes. In fact, one time Prabhupada was shown this kind of roster, very sophisticated. The devotee was so proud. Prabhupada said, no, this is not good. He said, what? We put so much effort in this. He was seeing that we're moving away from love and trust as the basis of functioning. He said, no, we need to operate on love and trust. So, of course, now, a lot of the time Prabhupada gave us instruction in capsule form. It's up to us to now expand on it. What does that mean, love and trust? How do we functionally make that work? Can we explore this concept of trust? How can we ensure there's more trust in communities? So then devotees have done a lot of research, and also non-devotees have explored this and articulated very nicely. There's one speaker by the name of Brene Brown who broke down this concept of trust into an acronym called BRAVING. How can we increase the level of trust in each other as a community and as friends, as individuals? So I found this maybe I'll share that real quick, is that okay? So, BRAVING is the 7 elements of trust. So if we all cultivate these 7 elements individually, it kind of creates, we'll become stronger at trusting others and we'll become more trustworthy. And when that happens, then the magic happens, So 1 is boundaries. I trust you when you respect my limits and I am clear about your own limits. Let's not step into each other's limits. Let's be respectful that people have boundaries. That's important. Then reliability. If I say I'm going to do something, do it. Do it on time, exactly as keep your promises. If you keep your promises, the other person consistently keeps their promises. Small things. That you're always going to bring the water jug for the Janamrit. That person always does it consistently, then your reliability goes up, your trust level goes up. If everybody can make some effort in being more reliable, that's the other one. So the acronym is called BRAVING, B-R-A-V-I-N-G. So boundaries, reliability. Then A is accountability, which means that I trust when you own your mistakes. I made a mistake. It's hard, this is a hard part. Accountability is hard. So we apologize and we make amends. Not just apologize, but we change. So the more we all do this, the more the community's trust level goes up or any relationship goes up. We have to examine ourselves. Am I really doing all these? Am I apologizing for mistakes? Then the other one is vault. This is very important. Vault is like a safe that is bulletproof. If I tell you something in confidence, you tell me something in confidence, I will not go and share it with anybody else. You told me not to tell anyone, I will absolutely not tell. That raises trust like anything. But if I go and tell it, it breaks the whole trust. We've all had experience. To keep the secret, it's very important. Guhyam akhyati prichati. It's a loving exchange between devotees. So that's vault, that's V. Then I is integrity. I trust you when you choose courage over comfort and act according to your values. So whatever values you have, you act by, you live by the principles. That's integrity. And is non-judgmentalism. You don't judge somebody based on external things. Of course, we have taught this by Rupa Goswami. All these are elements of Rupa Goswami. You don't judge by deformed body or something wrong with the skin, right? It's their nectar of instruction. But also being non-judgmental about where people are in their spiritual life. Every saint has a past, right? Every sinner has a future. Let's be non-judgmental about struggles of people without being looked upon. We want to, that creates an incredibly beautiful environment when someone feels comfortable. And this last one is my favorite, is G for generosity. What does that mean? Of course, not just generosity in giving things or giving resources or giving donations, but generosity in making assumptions. Be very generous. Like if someone did something to me, there's a few ways to interpret that, a few ways to see it. Am I being the most generous, most positive possibility of that person's intention? If we can become practiced and expert in that. Like someone does something to us that has an emotional reaction, especially a negative emotional reaction. Can we reevaluate that scenario to see it in a better light? Perhaps the intention was not that. We have to be very careful in making those assumptions. Sometimes, and we may not articulate that, we just keep it festering and then our face reflects our disdain without actually saying it. And the other person thinks, why is Prabhu being so cold to me all of a sudden? I thought we were friends, but we were just holding that one thing which we misjudged. So if we're generous in assuming what people did to us, then that is, it increases the level of trust. Now sometimes we may try to be generous and it just doesn't, it doesn't sit well with me. Then we have to find a way to communicate and work it out, clear the air. The more we do that for small things, they don't fester and become big things. So these are a few elements that if we can really dwell on, reflect, contemplate. Because what you are describing, Prabhu, is a symptom of something that happens after a lot of trust is eroded. See, so the solution cannot be at this level, it has to be at the deeper level, where we have to change our patterns and behaviors as a community, as an individual. We have to talk about it openly, honestly. When we sit together and talk about these things, reflect on it, perhaps even look back retrospectively and see if we can apply it and see where we went wrong. Then in the future we won't make those mistakes. So some devoted communities, they're just thriving because there's so much maturity there. The leaders who show this, just shine lights on this. No, don't approach it this way. Try and look at it this way and resolve conflicts before they become big things. That's what our flagship product is in ISKCON, is love and trust. Love and encouragement. If we realize that's our product we're selling, then people will come, they'll drive many miles and fly in airplanes to come to Rath, just to feel an ounce of encouragement, especially if there's an abundance of it. And so if a community has it, which I feel here, I feel it in the devotees here, I feel it in the air here, I feel confident, encouraged, loved. And I know why my spiritual master wrote so much, he spent so much time and wrote so many books here. There's something magical about this space. There's something magical about Radha Govinda, for sure. Otherwise, why would you get on a boat and so much? But that's what we are also hungry for, is love and encouragement. So if we can do that more and more, talk about it more, reflect on it, find it in our Acharyas' teaching, find it in the bhajans of the Acharyas, and then articulate it in our modern language more and more, then it'll flow and overflow and create just a well of nectar. Thank you. Hare Krishna. I hope that was in line with what you were saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Shri Prabhupada ki, Shri Govinda ki, Hare Krishna.